Good morning, family of faith. I'm gonna pull cards for us today just to see where the overall energy is at. I really feel like it's gonna be confirmations. I woke up this morning feeling confirmation energy, but also want to do just because I feel like there's blind spots. Also, I ran into one yesterday when I was given a translation that just honestly caught me off guard too. But Spirit just was like Luke 34. I was like, okay, I didn't even honestly know what it was, but Spirit was like, type in that. But I'm pulling the cards out, then I'm gonna get to it, but I'm just telling you guys another reason why I'm pulling cards today. And the person I sent it to, she was like, there isn't a Luke 34, but Spirit was already telling me, and I actually wanted to know too as to what it was. And I found it on YouTube. It was Luke 11 34, but for her aspect, it was an aspect as into the 34, and the way that I know to break it down, it was divine communication, and her roots are communicating with her from the other side. Like the invisible world, their flesh has stopped, but they're still operating, they're communicating with her. But Spirit just told me to put 34, it didn't tell me all that, but I was saying, I guess I had to break it down to her more because, it's like 34, I don't see a 34. Or maybe she had to separate the numbers because I also went to another one of my translations and it was saying the energy was separate. So it might be 3 and 4, but for me, the way I received it was somebody from the eternal side, from your roots, is trying to communicate with you. And it's funny because when I went to her page, she was saying the face of Jesus. She going to see the face of Jesus. And it was so funny because the last thing I posted was my face doing an observation symbolizing on the eternal side. But it was speaking of losing eyesight, and how we pretty much were recognizing how important our eyes is. But it was coming in a physical form. It was not literally like a blind person, but it was. It was just pretty much appreciating what you can see. Definitely when you have physical people here now, and how you can see what's going on because you see them, but when you don't see them, and you're working off just the eternal aspect, it's a little different, So it's appreciating the moment aspect, what it was coming off as. So I actually thought it was personally cool myself, honestly. But so I'm gonna pull the cards and see, what Spirit got to say. Oh, and then after she told me, I even texted back. I was like, oh my god, okay, we have a different faith or a different type of faith activator, But I know people don't normally understand me, which just be like, Jesus Christ, I must be levitated really freaking high. I know I got a bird's eye view, but Jesus, patience. I know this is the part where even I have a hard time with us believers. We get impatient. We feel like everybody just supposed to understand us right off rip, Definitely when I deal with other believers, it's like, you read this book. Nothing I say makes sense. How? Like, how? But we all are learning. Just because we're a believer, we're a faith walker, we walk by faith, not by sight, don't mean that we're still not learning. I learn daily. Even with me in the midst of giving a translation to somebody, I honestly did not know what it was, which was intriguing. I had to go look it up, but when I went and looked it up, it was like, oh, Spirit, you're so intriguing, But I actually did a translation like that before, saying somebody was going to lose their eyesight. They were going to let you go. But it was coming off like a job. Like you weren't sure if you should leave a job, but they're going to let you go regardless, So, but it's like finding a different field before that happens. So they're going to let you go. And that made me think of that same translation as to losing your eyesight. That Luke 11, I hope I'm saying it right. It was 2 dots. I'm going to say ... 34. But the 34 was the part that the Spirit wanted me to translate to that person. And it resonated for me because that's the work I naturally do. So it was funny for me to even say, I didn't know what that meant. Honey, you don't know what you be doing all the time? Intriguing. Thought that was funny. A learning lesson for us all, but yeah. I got all the decks pulled out. Okay, we put this away. It's my little wonderful birth certificate. I keep my birth certificate in there with my cards. I have a great placement that I'm from Maryland. I have a great placement that I'm from. That's actually funny too. I kind of want to talk about that before I even start, because I feel like I had so many downloads this morning. It was intriguing, and the energy was speaking of where I was from. I was thinking of my teacher from. Okay, I was born in Maryland, but I grew up in Warren, Ohio, and I was thinking about where I grew up at and the school I went to. And I was thinking, like, oh my God, we had some great people come from Warren G. Hardin. Definitely our athletes. They have definitely bloomed coming from there. And what made me think of that was somebody I used to talk to who played on the Ohio State team. That's what it was. I have to go back and rewind before I get back to that part. Hopefully I'll forget that part about who, y'all love that came from Warren G. Hardin but played for Ohio State. And if you, a great intuner, you know exactly who I'm talking about probably. Let's see who know their info, who keep up on, athletes and things like that. But I was thinking about something I said in my recent translation. Actually, I was just chatting with you guys, but it was a translation. Everything is always a translation. And I was saying, I don't have any enemies. It's hard for me to use that word enemy, because it's like, that's weird, yo. Like, what caught me to say that was I was like, I don't even have friends. And I was like, I have friends. I really do. I have people who support me, even when I don't feel like they are, if that makes sense. Everybody gives support and love in different forms of a way. So, I had to correct myself in that aspect. But it made me think in a form as to how we have different states that have militaries and armies. And it's like, just because you reside in that state do not mean that you are the enemy. You just live there. We have a group of people, which we call like our army or something, who come off like the enemies, honestly, because, they protecting something, but at the same time, they bring in fear, like they're an enemy. They're like a highlight for an enemy for them, but everybody who reside in that area is not a freaking terrorist or an enemy of ours, Definitely when I know about spirits and souls coming back, but they don't come back in the same form. They're not coming back in the same location on top of that. Yes, they can travel, but being stuck in a human form, there's no telling where they're at. Your loved one, you could be looking at as the enemy, somebody you really care for just because of where they're placed at. And that's just one of the ways I thought about, like, I don't have any freaking enemy. I just don't. That's weird, yo. But it made me think, what made me think of that aspect other than what I just sat there and said? I went for a checkup yesterday on my hands. Just because, like, I want to make sure they're healing right. Yeah, I ain't been going to physical therapy because I had some little problems with transportation, but I want to make sure at least they're healing right. I can move my hands myself, but I want to make sure they're healing right. But when I was talking to the doctor lady, she seemed to be happy by my pain as until I couldn't make it to physical therapy. And I was amazed, like within the moment I was happy because like I know what I came for. I came to get help. I didn't come here on some other agenda. And it just amazed me as to, it's intriguing how people thrive off other people's pain or losses or misfortunes or things of that nature. I was amazed at that. And I feel like I caught her off guard, honestly, as into I really was excited as to her helping me because that's what I came for. She rushed out the room so doggone quickly, like, oh my God, hold on. This ain't going the way I expected, It was intriguing to me. Like she wanted me to be confused or upset. I don't honestly know. It was just weird to me. Which took me into thinking about what I just explained. Definitely when it just comes to an enemy aspect, it's like I don't have any of those. But then I seen a bigger picture as to what I just explained to you guys. As into, I can use this as an example too, just because I live in Groveport, but pretty much this place is a Buckeye Nation aspect. If you are from Columbus, Ohio, they go by Buckeyes. And it's like, everybody that lives there is not a Buckeye freaking fan, yo. And it's like, I guess if you're not a Buckeye fan, you're an enemy, huh? But it's like, that's not the case, yo. It's just not. Everybody's not your enemy. But I think I'm going to move past that part. I think I got into the roots of that much as I needed to. I'm going to start with tarot. And then I'm going to move over to the planets and see what energy is influencing this. It's just that seemed to be really important to me when it came to that. Which I hope I explained that well. Oh, I didn't even finish telling you guys about that. The player, Boom. That's his name. His name is, he go by Boom. But, I used to talk to him. But he had a girlfriend. This is the part that gets me when it comes to the hospital aspect. As into, I used to talk to him. He had a girlfriend. And yes, I was aware in that situation that he had a girlfriend. At least, I was told, it was word around. But he ain't never actually said he had a girlfriend personally to me. But I did hear around that he had a girlfriend. So I'm going to say I knew. But he enjoyed displaying me and taking me out. He came to my house, met the family and everything, You think if you got a girlfriend, you ain't doing all that, yo. You pulling up outside and you come outside. I'm not about to knock on your door and meet your family and take you on dates and things like that. But it just gave me a different perspective when it comes to other people as into how they have whole situations going on. You just won't know. That's why it's just intriguing to me, honestly. It's intriguing to me. I don't know how to explain that any more than that. But I'm not knocking Mr. Boom. He was a great person, honestly. And we never had sex. That's what separates that aspect. We ain't never had sex. He just apparently liked me as a friend, and he thought it was a nice little trophy to walk around with. Which I'm not upset with that in no form of a way. It's just made me think about something else. I can't even remember at the moment. I'm getting into this energy. This card just caught me off guard. Oh, there's a lot coming out quickly. I don't feel like the way they came out, but maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. In the reverse again. Jesus Christ. Something is coming back through. Sure found this is making me feel like a confirmation as until I just sat there and said about the person I was translating for yesterday. Foundation is coming through on the eternal side. And you're not wanting it or you don't recognize it. It's coming through, but it's upside down. It's not here. It's on the eternal side. But you're rejecting it. And the world card is in reverse. This is something trying to come through, but it's resistance of a balance. The Temperance card came out. Those are all cups. These are all cups. The first card and the last card and the middle card is the world card, but it's in reverse. All cups. It's your foundation. And when I say foundation, it's your structure, your family tree. Whatever you're rooted to. It's trying to get your attention. Now you got divine communication, the world card, and your happy ending is in reverse. Jesus Christ, yo. This is missing the message of a balance. You're supposed to be running with this balance. It's something that is trying to come through. But you're supposed to be running with it. Like, those are all swords. It seem like pain, but it's justice. That's all justice. You're supposed to be running with it, which is a balance from the here and after realm. But you're not receiving it. You don't want it. Your arms is crossed. But it's your happy ending. Then you got the World card in reverse. And you got divine communication. Divine communication is intriguing because it's communication with a chirper, which in this aspect, chirpers to me always symbolize an angel because they go up there and they can come down here with us and then they go right back up there. They ain't waiting for the physical aspect to stop, the flesh to stop to be able to go up there and come down. They do it. Then they travel all around and they come back to you. That's the type of communication you having, but you're missing it. It's somewhere you're stuck. And I want to say one of those maybe, you could be one of those people who, I want to say seeing is believing aspect, but when the flesh stops, you think it's a done deal, that there's nothing else. Or you may think that you're not that loved enough to be able to still receive their love. Because you got cups on the land aspect. Those, you have people, you still have structures of trees. That's the intriguing part. I have learned when it comes to trees, the actual meaning of those. Those are people. Those are, how can I explain that? Jesus. I feel like I put myself on the spot. That's so funny. It's different structures. I want to say religion, but of culture. Ethnicity. It's like those. You have that. The best way I can explain it is when people say, what was first? We have all these different races and things. Was it white? Was it black? It was all available. And it's still there. You still have that. But there's some foundation that has left out its own eternal side, but you're not recognizing it. There's a part of you on the eternal side that you're not recognizing, which means you got some self-work to do, hunty. As we all do, but this one is important. You got the Temperance card, and you got a lot. What's these numbers on here? 7. Yes. It's the oneness. Then you got the divine communication, got the 9 on there, which is the teaching energy. Then you got the 4, which is your roots. That's funny. That's what it was too, 34. Your roots. Your happy ending is in reverse. It's your roots. They both got 4 on it. Jesus, how extraordinary. They both got freaking 4 on them. Your foundation coming through, yo. Got a 4 on it. Your happy ending has a 4 on it. It's your roots. And it's intriguing because it's making me think of a crossway. Which way to go? That's what I was saying. I didn't want to reply back to her because it's like, okay. My little faith was getting a little irritated because it's like, oh my Jesus, like, boy, like, what you mean the other side? What, how many sides is there, yo? If they're not physically here, where are they at? Like, I started getting in that energy, and it's like, I'm working on it. Definitely want to know I'm meant to work with people. I got to be patient because we all learning. And we have different levels of awareness to it on that journey of a lesson. Just because we seem like we own the same. Because what got me was, I seen that she was a believer. I was like, oh, how intriguing. I'm going to send this message right to you. And then Spirit in that process was like, put Luke 34. Because she was speaking of Jesus. Like, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm thriving at, honey. But, kind of just forgot what I was about to say. That's intriguing. It'd be intriguing when I forget things like that. Because, like, my mind just go blank. Like, blank. Like, what just happened? Who just closed the curtain? But I'm going to move on because I really did just forget, honestly. Hopefully they come back what I was saying. What the heck was I saying? I don't remember. I'm going to go back to these numbers. That's helped me remember. Your roots. Then you got 12. Your sentences is in reverse. You might be distracted. That's funny because even with me, I just got distracted. Your senses is off. Just feel like distraction energy. Oh, that's what I was saying. Thank you. So intriguing, Lord. I I wound up liking a message that was meant for her on that other side aspect, for her understandings. She said this part in mental health helped her. This, where they're at, it comes off like a mental illness. But she was working out or something like that. That may even be how she thriving, honestly. But it was a mental health part as into where I'm at. Where your roots at. They on the other side, which is making you come off like you got a mental illness, but it's them. It's your loved ones. You're not, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just you aware. I'm still here, yo. So I thought that was intriguing. And thank you, Spirit, for allowing me to remember that. It's the sentence. Boy, oh boy. 14, the temperance. Your roots. These are all roots. Your balance is your roots. So that's super cool. Okay. We got 10, divine communication. These are a lot of fours. This is a 4 too. Yeah, these are pentacles. Jesus. Then we got the death card. They're headed towards you. This is so confirmation all day, yo. Then the Emperor. This makes me think of the energy that I was explaining to somebody gonna let you go. But yep, they're headed towards you for you to be able to manifest in a communication form. But it's in reverse. But you will be able to when you reciprocate. Allow it to be the little engine that could. I give myself chuckles. I swear to God I do. But seriously. Then the Emperor. In power. Could be losing power. And it's the 4 too. Golly, these are a lot of 4s. I'm even surprised how many 4s these are. 1, 2. It's 4 4s. You got the Emperor. You got your head to toe manifestation, which is divine communication. You can communicate in so many forms. You got the feet, the hands, and the head. Where do you be going? Where it's like, it makes me think of a saying. It's a Toby Mac song. Is it everywhere we go, bright lights shine? Anywhere we go, bright lights. Oh, Jesus. Bright shine light, bright shine. Oh, my God. Light shine bright anywhere we go. Making music for the people, making music for the people. That energy is on the feet. Anywhere you go, because you have that divine communication. Your hands. Where you work at, what you be doing. It's all the eternal side. Your head, you receive to be able to operate in your hands and feet. It's like time is literally on my side, or there should be no coincidence for you. No, this was just a coincidence energy for you. Where's the other 4? They're coming through, but I want to reject. Or not me anyway. I don't reject. I hope I don't. Lord, if I do, please bring it back my way, because I didn't mean to. Bring it back my way. I didn't mean to. You're rejecting your foundation, which is your happy ending, which makes you have a balance with the here and after realm. Oh, these are 5 cards. Oh, because the Temperance got the 1 and 4 on it. That's all roots. I'll say it's only 4 4s. These were the 4 4s, but the Temperance is your balance. Moving over to the planets. What planet is influencing this beautiful energy? The eternal side is headed towards you. That is so beautiful. And there go the 3. It's the 1, which is your roots again. This is the energy where you might want to look up. Actually, I got the houses. I'll pull it up. But if you want, you can still look it up. The first house in astrology is going to help you in this aspect to understand your roots better as to what's headed towards you. Because it's got the 1 on there and the 3. It's your roots, but it's divine communication. And there you go, right there. It's headed towards you. And this is the intriguing part because it looks like it's in a human form. which is intriguing because it can come off like a person like me. Like, spirit knows how to operate through people. I speak on this a lot. I call them shadows. Shadows get the work done, yo. Just because your physical body is stuck do not mean that shadow is not. See, a shadow was with me. Look at my hand. Oh, that's extraordinaires. That is super extraordinaires. That's funnily cool. Make me want to sing Amazing Grace. I feel like tears getting in my eyes too, because that's so funny and awesome. But boy oh boy, I feel a little overwhelmed. Because really, just look down like, there you go, shadow. How extraordinaires. I speak of shadows a lot because they be so active. They know how to operate through people. That's what I was saying. Your flesh may be stuck, but shadow can operate and operate through you to get to somebody else. And this is what this could be. It's not like metaphorically the wind just blowing or somebody just talking from the sky. You know, it is a. I actually talked about this recently. That's funny. It was when I was speaking about the garden situation in Genesis, because I've been reading out of there. So I'm probably gonna get back into it today. And if I feel, I'll share with you guys. But actually, just I don't think I'm gonna be in Genesis. I'm probably gonna flip through and go to a different chapter. But it was saying, after they did what they weren't supposed to do, or supposedly, I want this come off like a supposed energy to me, but they were told not to do it, and they did it, and they went and tried to hide, and then they heard the voice, coming toward them, the Lord voice coming toward them. It was not his physical body, but the others who followed that, they could recognize his voice in them, and they had to been talking about whatever they did. It's the only way to explain it, and how he operates through people, how shadows operate through people. And I'm not even sure why I just said he, but this could be a he energy. I just said he. It's more in the aspect of I am. There's not a gender in there, but I recently picked up a shadow aspect where it's a female, but it comes from the sun. I'm not sure if that's one of the same. But this energy is more in the aspect of I am. Jesus. I am. I give myself chuckles. Pardon me, my mind is just traveling. I gotta not get focused. I have to not. Please let me stay focused. My words just said I need not to be focused, but that's no good. Now I'm not focused. It's no good. And I've been picking up on that energy a lot, where I feel like I am getting distracted and a little overwhelmed, if that makes sense. Just because I've been receiving so much good information, and I gotta think, but other people want my attention in other ways, and it just be intriguing because I know I need to focus on receiving, but not miss other information that's happening, if that's making sense. But it's part of a balance that I'm learning. Even how I say, I gotta learn to still be patient. I am a patient person naturally. I really am. But even how I had a hard time and wanted to go back and explain to her to break it more down. It's like, you got a message to give. What you mean you don't feel like breaking it down? Hey, she said it wasn't there. You think they ain't there either, don't you? They're there, yo. It's there. Oh, Jesus. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. But I'm serious. They're there. They're trying to get your attention. Neptune. I be in this energy a lot. This is intriguing. It's the Bluetooth, communication, throat chakra. Stagnated energy. which I actually just explained that within myself. This actually makes me feel like I'm talking to myself at the moment, which is intriguing. Slow and steady in your words. Make sure you're using your words correctly. Definitely when you got stagnated energy, discernment is really important. I feel like it's something else I want to say in that aspect. But in that aspect, it's coming to what's relevant and what's not. And I feel like I actually did a good job in that aspect yesterday, just for the simple fact of I didn't feel it was important to respond back. I wouldn't clicked on what may resonate with her later on because it's like a mental illness, yo. They're on the mental illness side. But I didn't actually text her back and say, because like, I feel like it was irrelevant to do. You know, like, you keep telling me it's not there. They're not there, but they're there, okay? What you think that mental illness is? Maybe that's the thing. Everybody think of a mental illness differently. You know, some people look at mental illness like it's bad. You need to stop that footerities. But it's like here in the physical aspect, it's treated the same. You can be here and speak and try to do good or whatever you're doing. And people don't like that. They want that to stop. Like, I think not. It's the same aspect of energy. You know, everybody's seeking that wisdom and freedom. The wisdom and freedom. Everybody's seeking acceptance and freedom. Because you could be here, but you may not be accepted. You over there, you're not accepted. You think you're free because you on the eternal side. You're not. These people, you still can't get through the way you're supposed to, if that makes sense. It's intriguing. But the eternal side, they're the best. They get everything done. Even how we got the phones and TVs and radios, like they paved a beautiful way. Flip this over. What other planet is influencing this? That's so funny, Neptune. Jesus, you are extraordinary. Tune. That break the words down. It's tune. It's a tune. This could be music. Recognizing communication in music. It's a tune. There could be a tune in to something. It's the aspect. I just explained it when it comes to TVs and things. I looked over and tune. It's like tune. That's so funny. And it's making me think of a TV. I talked about this energy. And it's intriguing if it's making me think of my mom. Because every time I explain my mom and the aspect that happened with us, where I had to discipline her and I popped her because there was stagnated energy. Like a TV, when they get like older TV, these TV nowadays, I don't think they do that. They just go black or something like that. Or, you know, maybe say no signal or something like that. They don't get the little statically lines in it. But I'm thinking of an older TV when I get to explaining this behavior as into it's stagnant. And I had to pop my mom to get it to be unstaggity. And it didn't work. It just stayed that way. I feel like that same type of energy as into that is that energy, Jesus. That's so extraordinary, yo. You're not receiving this communication. It's not going through smooth. There is stagnant behavior. That's why you're not receiving it. You're not receiving your foundation. It's not clear as it's supposed to be. Communication is in reverse. Your pinnacle is in reverse. Jesus, that's nice. That's so nice to know. That's so funny. Really awesome. Anything else? What other planet isn't here? Saturn. Oh, it's today Saturday too. How so fun too. Then we got Uranus. Stuck energy. Alrighty. We got bright energy, we got communication, and we got stuck energy. And why is this? This is catching my attention. These words, they want me to break words down. Which definitely seems like that goes with yesterday behavior also. Breaking the numbers down to 3 and 4 instead of thinking of it as just 34. But Uranus, the us is catching my attention at the end of it. The end of Neptune is catching my attention as to tune. And then the Saturn is a turn. Gotta make a turn. And something about a tune. Like tune into something, or like a sound, a tune of hearing something, and then us. And us is coming in a stuck energy. And tune is something staticky. And then in the bright energy turn. I don't know what that's about, but that seemed to be really important. Who else next? Let's see the path where our mind is at. This can help a lot. If we know where our mind is at, then I'm gonna do the houses. You wanna do the houses first? Yeah, let's see what houses. And then we do the mind. For the eightfold path, see where our mind is at or where it should be at. Definitely when we seem to be distracted right now. Or we might just be having an intriguing time in our faith right now. If that makes sense. And I say that, I want to say believing that you are loved enough to always be connected. You may not believe that. Or you just, I don't know. Everybody have their moments where they question their faith or it seem like they slacking in it, if that makes sense. I know I have my moments sometimes. Definitely when things be interesting in my life, it just be like, yo. Actually happened to me yesterday a little bit. Just a little bit. I don't know if it's a good enough example, but I'm going to use it. I was driving yesterday. I did a lot of sharing and communicating yesterday. And it was one thing that I really wanted to share that it wouldn't get shared. And it was just driving me crazy. Like, why are you slowing me down? I need this part so I can move on to the next part. But I actually wound up erasing. I tweeted about it, but I erased it because it's like, Spirit has allowed me to know everything that I do is never for no reason. If they're not allowing me to do something, later on I realize why I couldn't. Or it helps me realize, if you can't go that way, go that way. Why? This one, no, you know. And I actually still did get it done, where I was able to still to move on. But even with myself, I have realized I get in trouble sometimes for speeding. Like my behavior, how I was doing it yesterday, and how I felt like I was being slowed down. That's my natural physical behavior that has gotten me into a little trouble, into a rabbit hole. When I had a vehicle, I used to drive fast because my mind moves very fast. Which thankfully I learned to get that under control. You know, I'm very in tune with traffic. Honestly, I can tell you what's going on way up there and who around me. I've become very aware. When I be with my ex, he'd be upset because he'd be like, quit driving, you know. But I feel the traffic. I'm a little too in tune, but I'm in tune. And that's that same behavior as into sometimes you don't realize the harm you cause when you are speeding or rushing, because everybody have a part to play, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. It makes sense for me, but it's just an example I have to give for something I even realized with myself that Spirit has brought to my attention as into I do things for a reason, and you will always see why I do it later on. If you don't understand it right now, which I didn't understand it, I was upset. Like, what is this? Why are you slowing me down? Don't you see I'm driving right now? Why are you slowing me down? I have days where I seem like I do nothing at all. And it's like, you really just want me to sleep all day? And it's like, yes, you need to rest because later on you're going to be maybe working a lot and somebody else is going to take that rest. It's everybody playing their part pretty much. Which I have learned that a while ago. I can give another example. Well, I did learn that a while ago. You may have a job, like you work on a job site or something, and your manager just tell you to do a certain job, and you're just like, I don't want to do that. I want to do this today. I'm gonna be bored if I do this all day, you know. It's that same type of energy. You have to do that particular aspect at that time for a certain reason. You know, you may think it's too easy, or you may think it's too easy or too hard, but it's beneficial for you to learn that lesson and to do that part, if that makes sense. It's the only way I can explain it any more than that. But what house is influencing us, honey? What house is influencing this energy? We got Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn for the planets. And the house. Yay! I knew it was you. I knew it was you. You got the first house, Huntai. And you got the second house. Your first house, your aspirations and your abundance. Aspiration and ambition is important in this aspect. In the first house, aspiration and ambition is important to pay attention to in your first house. And it goes with your balance, your temperance, as I was saying. Which will help you pay more attention to signs. Then you got the second house, material value and physical value. That's so funny because she was in the gym. Her physical health may be important, and the material can help in job aspect, career. When you know those parts. Then I'll see where the mind is at. Then I think I'm going to wrap it up. I want to pull a card from the Oracle deck too. Then I wrap it up after I see where the mind is at. Where is our mind at? Where are you at on this payoff? Are you stuck? Are you in stagnant energy? Are you in bright energy? Because you got all three of those aspects. And with me doing the overall energy, everybody ain't all in the same energy. Some people feel stuck. Some people just may be a little confused. So they got stagnant energy. It's not totally clear. Which I feel like, as I just said, I'm normally in this energy sometime. I know I'm in this energy. I was trying to translate recently, and I could not focus. It was so hard to focus. So hard to focus. But I'm also in bright energy, too, at the same time. With me, being the type of person I am and having the bird eyes view, like, on everything, I really operate like I'm coming down steps in a spiral energy. Or I'm always going up like this. I guess it depends on the frequency of where I got to be at that day. Or sometimes it gets staticky. I have to learn to separate things. How I sat there and said, I have to focus, but other things be wanting my attention. It'd be that type of energy. And it'd be intriguing. You got the right speech. You got the right speech, Huntai. Or you surely will. Which is intriguing because I feel like that goes with your roots in the second house. So that's physical value and material value. The right speech. Right livelihood. And we got right action. And those three cards too. Are you so intriguing? Because Saturn, I feel like Saturn, right action, which is bright energy. Which is, it makes sense, but it's like, how amazing. Saturn got right action. Neptune, right livelihood. This is intriguing. Your stagnant energy seems to be the right livelihood, or it will be. Right speech, Uranus, which is, I said when I broke the words down, Uranus was in the us aspect, has the right speech, right livelihood. It's a tune. It's a tune is something like our sound. So I want to say music. And then in Saturn, there was a turn. It's the right action. Which actually makes like you might need to turn somewhere, or, pop something. No, don't hit nobody. Okay, don't do that. But if it's a TV, pop it. I give myself chuckles. I'm just saying. Let's see where the energy is at. I'm just gonna grab out the middle of this really quick. I gotta pick it up. It's a little heavy and my hands are hurting still. What's in the middle? Raphael, fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael. It's got 3 and 8 on there. It's a here and after energy. This is a protecting energy. And it got green on there. This is a lot of love in this. I need another one. What's behind? Second house. Let's go with second house. Archangel Raphael, second house. The Sun card is in the reverse. Your first house is in freaking reverse. Then the Healer of Ages. Got some healing going on. Then walking away is in reverse. This is probably going Saturn energy. Just walking away. Right action. Walking away from something. Your job. Probably the job. They're going to let you go anyway. And it's got the 1 on there too. All these got the 1 on there. Your foundation. Spread. Stay on the other side. Aspirations and ambition. Do you know how some people they speak of royal families or really loves family? Your eternal side is that family. They got the sun's energy. Is that it? Spirit, is there anything else? The law. The law? What do we have for that? The law of rhythm. Neptune. For sure. It's at the bottom. The law of correspondence. Saturn. Then we go for the third one. 1, 2, and 3. The law of action. That's funny. You just going up there with Uranus. That's super funny to me personally. Because that makes sense. It goes in the stuck energy. That's so funny. It's making me think of a wall. Let me use my little face. This is the middle. This would be the eternal side. Well, that can't be the eternal side. Well, it can be, but the way I want to explain this is the physical people. This is the eternal people, the invisible world. We both seem stuck because we can't get to this part. But the right speech, the right correspondence, it goes through to be this. And they both got action. Us on stuck energy, action. The bright energy, right action. So on the path, and you are in balance with the universe. That was the 12th universal law of action. It came out in stuck energy. And your bright energy, which is Saturn, you got the right action too. And the law of correspondence. You're responding very well to the law of speech on the path. That's so beautiful. The law of action, the law of rhythm, the law of correspondence. See, that's so beautiful. I feel like this could be a blind spot. It's confirmation for some, but this is a blind spot for a good amount of people. Definitely if you feel stuck, or if you got that stagnated energy, you haven't got to this bright energy yet where you recognize a balance on a here and after, where you'll have hit the toe manifestation. Where light shine bright everywhere we go. Making music for the people. Neptune. People that's in the dark. Who level of awareness ain't there yet. It's like you'll become a teacher. I want to say a prophet. That was what I've been wanting to say. And I ain't been able to think of the word. That's what my aunt told me I was. But it was funny because when I was with her, she kept saying, this fake prophet keep calling me. And for me, it was just like, what makes you think that they're fake, you know? But it's like, hey, if you think they're fake, I ain't about to force it on you, you know? I actually don't know what they're saying to you. And Which now is probably I should have asked, like, what did they be saying? Maybe you meant to translate that message to me or somebody else. You don't just get stuck on if you're not resonated. You may need to receive that to bless somebody else. Even her own child, maybe that message was for her child. It's a reason why you received that information. So that's that. I don't know. I think maybe if they start asking for money and things like that, maybe. But I don't know. I didn't ask her. But actually, she said I was one of those. Just because I can speak something before, I even pull my cards or things like that. Which I feel like I got a lot of tokens. I said, what is that? That's my other phone over there vibrating. I got a lot of tokens as to what I am because I don't even like to identify as that personally. Once I realized my calling, I used to go by a motivator speaker because I enjoy watching motivator speakers and people are more accepting of it other than being a pastor or a prophet or things of that nature. People get discouraged just by the title when it's like, I can resonate with what you're saying, but when you have those titles, certain people reject it even though it will benefit them. It's not like I'm trying to hide who I am. It's just, at the end of the day, we're all motivators, So I like to thrive off of that energy. But now I just say I'm a translator because it's the same as a motivator speaker. You're needing something, you're seeking something, and I have the answers to push you along the way, So that's that, you guys. Energy is quite good. This is good confirmation and blind spots as to be aware of what you are receiving, things you're doing. You're not doing them for no reason. The eternal side is trying to get your attention to do something. They need you to do something. You have to recognize the balance to be able to do something. And it got to be in a painful area because these swords came out and they symbolize justice, though. You're supposed to run in that aspect to help people in stagnated energy, stuck energy. I don't know, it's so funny. It's making me think of a caseworker aspect. This might even be for a caseworker. It's something I actually thought of doing before. Not in the caseworker aspect, but I wouldn't mind being a caseworker, helping people in dark situations. It just makes the most sense. A lot of things people don't think be happening that be happening. It's like people like us, like myself, or whatever your calling is, because it gotta be one of the same. It's just, there's levels to it. When I say there's levels to it, I have to give an example as into me. I speak of the color wheel all the time. I thrive off the color wheel. I know how to recognize signs that the eternal side has given me through colors. But I also know how to recognize it in numbers. Numerology is everything, You can scramble up the alphabet, but numbers, it is legit. You ain't changing it. And I know how to thrive in that form of a way. But in the color aspect, I just realized somebody else's level of awareness to my same aspect that I thrive off of, but in a different form of a way. It was in a crystal form of a way. And the way that he explained it to me was like, when he got to talking, I'm just like, that's what I do. I know that already. And I know how to protect it, but I just protect it in a different form. I don't protect it with a crystal. I just know how to do it. I just do it, Or I know what to pay attention to and what to stay away from. I know when danger is handy and when it's not, just by a color form. But everybody have different strokes for different folks. It's one of those forms of a way. As to, if you want to protect yourself, protect yourself. If you know that's how it's going to protect you, do it, But it's like we had the same level of awareness, but in different forms, like different wording of it, if that makes sense. Like I speak of chakras, and he's speaking of chakras, but he talking about a crystal instead of just the chakra aspect, I feel like I can tell you guys. I tell you guys because it's helping. Sometimes My mind sometimes get me. I get in my head sometimes, and it's like, stop that. Even though I'm always in my head, because like you gotta be in your head to receive. I feel like I could be going into a lower energy where it's like they don't believe in sharing wisdom because people are stealing and do things like that or try to hurt you by knowing too much. But it's like when I'm protected, I'm just protected, and I really thrive that way. So it's like I don't have time to get in scary business. It is what it is. But he spoke of crystals protecting him. I don't use crystals, but I do use beads, which I have some on now. I use scents like smell goods, or oils, hair products. When I say hair products, extensions, to me, they symbolize spirits. It's like having feathers in, so I might wear a wig to protect me. Those things are protection forms to me, but also use my tattoos. Like it's permanent with me. They all symbolize something to me in a protection form, in a guidance form, where I feel like I'm protected in that form of a way, other than just a crystal. But as I said, different stroke for different folks, for levels of awareness to grow and to stay protected as you grow. And as I was saying, that's the field you're going to be in, to help people who a level of awareness ain't there, or they could be in harm and need people like us. But you have to be able to recognize things like that and give solutions, things like that. Which I feel like this video is long, but it's okay. I talked about this so many times because, as I said, I thought about doing it, being a caseworker, maybe like in children's service or in jail situations, because like I do this, I'm gonna see the bigger picture. I'm gonna know what the problem is. But before I even got to that level of awareness, I wanted to work at a shelter, honestly, but they didn't let me work there. They said I had to stay there for a long time before I could work there. But it's like, a person like me, you want my energy in there, helping people. I'm a gentle, and I can actually guide them the way that they need. I have the blind spots. It just makes the most sense. But even with me saying that, I know I can have multiple jobs, but it's like I don't think they make enough for me to even live comfortably the way I need. I can do this work and still somehow not be able to afford my own place, and that's just absolutely crazy to me. Like it's crazy to me, to be able to help somebody else thrive, but at the same time I'm not thriving. It's like, how is that possible? How? You know. But I honestly don't get stuck on that. But I do think about that aspect. I know at the end of the day, I'm blessed and highly favored. I honestly can't tell you the last time I paid rent. I can't tell you last time I had a job, but I have a place to stay. I have clothes. I haven't bought my own clothes in a long freaking time. I'm always blessed in areas and taken care of where I need it, where I'm needed. That don't mean that I don't want more and should have more. That don't mean that I'm not seeking more, because I really am. I don't want to be staying with somebody. I do want to dress certain ways and things like that. So it's not complaining. It's just knowing that there is more, and I know I will get there. It's just my mind do go there sometimes as into, one, should I share all my information with them as I'm thriving, which I always do. It's not like I'm hiding it. You can go and check my little records too. You share a lot, yo. You should not share so much, but it's like, I love sharing what I'm learning as I'm going. It just makes sense, because I know I have a rearview mirror. There's people who's right behind me who gonna need those answers, because all the answers I have honestly learned off social media, or off my phone, off YouTube. I have learned on my own. People around me did not have the answers, so it's like, it's a blessing for these platforms, as I just said there and said, where people can learn and share, because you may not have that around you, which will make you one of those things they call a product of your environment, because you're not able to receive what you need because they don't know the answer. Which I have learned that from my mom. Honestly, she is an intriguing one. I love my mom, but she taught me some intriguing lessons, yo. As into, if I didn't know a word, she'd be like, go look it up. And I was like, I don't even know how to spell it. How am I gonna look something up? I I don't know how to spell it. I can't even tell the first letter. How am I look it up? Weird behavior. And it's just like, instead of saying I don't know, just send me on a stupid mission. You know, adults have that. Not saying that's why she did it. Maybe she just really wanted me to go look, or she was distracted. It's like, just go look it up. Adults are intriguing, But for me, I'm getting more in the aspect as into adults having an acceptance aspect, knowing adults having an aspect of acceptance as into they don't know everything. You literally are learning just like us, like a younger person. You're learning just like us. It's okay to say you don't know. We can learn together. That's how I like to operate my child. Because there's a lot that it may seem like I should know that I don't know, but it's like we can learn together. Like, I would personally enjoy that. But if I don't know, I just don't know. What you want me to do? Like, lie to you, make some stuff up? No. If you think I'm gonna tell you, go look it up. Thank God for social media. Go Google it. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. Even how I just told you guys about the first house in astrology. Go look it up. I'm pretty sure, 100% sure. If your roots are trying to get connected to you, you need to know about the first house in astrology. It's important, And that's just how I operate, honestly. But I do get in my head sometimes when it's like, why am I helping everybody else and I'm not all the way together? It ain't always about me, and it's like I do get blessed at the same time. So it's like I just correct myself sometimes where it's like, don't you start that behavior. But I do mean what I said as into, just because I'm comfortable don't mean I don't want more. If that makes sense. It's not on a greedy aspect, because I'm far from greedy. I live a very humble life, I would say. So it's not in a greedy form where it's like, oh my God, it's just I deserve more and I will have more eventually. I feel like I just going and going on and going on and going on, but that's the energy, you guys. So remember, be kind. You are a reflection.